All right, good morning traders. Welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll be going through live order flow in the markets. Any market that you want to connect to or that we connect to, we can cover. Any market. So it's really all about understanding the order flow at specific levels and the participants in this auction. At these levels. This is what we want to know. This is where order flow can tell us, and this can give us an edge. Right? So we may take even live positions. Any of these positions, if we do take, they will be in demo paper trading mode only. All right. Just so you know and have the expectations, and why we do that is because to demonstrate the order flow and then how to manage it. Right, because showing the setup is great, or looking at this or that and seeing the market maybe do that is great. How do you manage it though? When it really comes down to it, that's what matters, and that's what can help make you money. All right, so it's not a trading room though. It is only for education. All right, so if you do like Bookmap, go to bookmap.com. And you'll see the sale. It's the last day today for the 4th of July sale, July 4th through the 11th. It's a great deal, 50% off of Global Plus and data. Okay, so come to bookmap.com if you're interested and take advantage of that. It's we only do this. This is the first time we've ever done the 4th of July sale. So take advantage of it if you like. We're also having our Pro Trader webinar series. It continues. Today's the last day of that. Later today, 2:30 East Coast time, we have Austin Silver presenting. So futures trader, and yeah, come to that event and partake in what Austin has to say. He's got a lot of great insights using Bookmap. And then we had our academy meeting last night, and just want to kind of cover the process in here, and we're going to do the exact same thing in this webinar. Our goal in here is following the order flow like I'd stated earlier, but we're going to build a playbook. We're going to go through a process. This process is going to build an edge and a playbook for us. And step one is what is making the market move. And if you guys like, hey, throw it in the chat. What is making the market move right now? What do you think? Why are we down today? And we'll go through this process in here, starting with step one, and then we'll look at step two, the key levels on high time frames. Some really good stuff this morning. I'll go over with you. Then we start to develop strategies and scenarios around that, and then it comes down to our setup. Okay, now I'm just going to jump right in here because this, I'll go through a risk disclosure, but I'm going to jump right in, and we may revisit this slide because I've got a great example for you just this morning, right now. All right, so general disclosure. All Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's jump in here, and we may return back to this slide here. This is what I want to go over here. I'm looking at Bookmap. Actually filtered Bookmap in TraderMap Pro. Let's actually go back to the unfiltered one here. It has stops and icebergs, but look at the data in here from the pre-market. All right, now we've got a higher time frame to take a look at as well, but we see the back and forth in here, and then we see the cash open, a move up into high liquidity right here, a move right back down, heavy sell-off into high liquidity in a few different areas, and it makes a low for the cash session, but not for the overnight session down here. So now we see the buyers come roaring back in, taking it back up to highs of the cash session. All right, so we've got some really good stuff to cover in here about this impetus moving the markets, etc. So let's just jump in. What is moving the markets? And let me go check in over here in Discord and see what you guys have to say. All right. Good morning. Nobody. No one said anything. Oh, come on. Come on, you guys. Something. Just throw out something. Would love to hear it. I mean, it's the headlines are there. Good morning. Trading is life. Stephen, Lauren, Laura, Rob, Shark, and Alois. Yeah, great to see you all. Okay, so what is moving the markets? Well, just go to the headlines. Here's Bloomberg, right? And it's right here. Stocks fall as Trump's trade threat lifts the dollar. Okay. Oh, Stephen, just go check it out. I mean, like, just go to Bloomberg and then hit the markets here. Go to Reuters, and then I usually just hit markets, but you can go to the home page and take a look as well. Usually, this is more kind of geopolitical stuff. So I just go to the market section. Look, this is about as basic as it can get. Wall Street opens lower amid Trump's fresh tariff salvo on Canada. I mean, it's not. I really, Stephen, I want you to consider some of these things and bring some of these things in. It will change your trading in a good way. You understand like the power behind some of these moves. Okay, what does the market think of some of these moves? Alois, you nailed it. The Canadian tariff, exactly. No, you just need to kind of understand what's moving the markets. Nothing more. Nothing more, right? And is this moving the markets? Well, we're going to go over this right now, right? Yes, it is. It did for the overnight session. Look at the cash session now, though. And what does the market think of it? Well, it's a buying opportunity is what the market seems to think right now. Okay, so let's look at our higher time frame now. So now we're going to keep it really, really simple. All right. I mean, there are other factors out there fundamentally. Interest rates, a new Fed chairman, maybe lowering the interest rates. There's rattling about that. There's CPI data next week. I mean, you can go on and on and on about all this kind of stuff, right? But let's just keep it simple on this example. Okay, it's really about the tariffs. In fact, let's look at this back here in the ES. I'm gonna have to go to a weekly in here now. Look at this in here. Now this is in the midst of wars on multiple fronts in several countries, missiles being fired. I mean, like all sorts of things going on in here. But what's moving the markets here? Okay, for some weeks here, big sell-offs, big sell-offs. So what is the market reacting to? It's the tariffs. It's the tariffs. Okay, the tariffs made the market move. The wars and stuff like that were little blips and flickers back and forth in here. It's crazy to me. However, this is what's happening, right? So now we have again, more tariffs happening right now after hitting all-time highs yesterday. Look at the overnight session right here. Look at the gap down on the hourly or in the 15-minute chart over here. And this is a weekly over here, right? We just had to go to the weekly to show that. This is what's moving the markets. This is what the market is sensitive to right now. Okay, maybe that changes. Who knows? But like we have to understand that. Okay, and that can set up all sorts of things in here, right? So now the market's already moved. It's already sold off on the overnight session. You see the big gaps. Okay, so now where did we go though? And look at where we opened and look where we went back down below in here. Okay, on the 15-minute in the hourly. Okay, did we go below the swing here? Did we fill this gap from the other day? No, we didn't. Right? We didn't go back down to here. We didn't go back down to these lows here. So the market like sold off, but it's starting to rebound now, and we're seeing buyers come back in. So what does the market think about this tariff stuff? Okay, enough to sell off, but maybe a buying opportunity to bring it back up. Okay, so we're going to look at that, and now we're going to take this idea and we're going to take it further. Okay, we're going to, again, just keeping it really simple in here and just starting with that impetus in here of what's moving the markets, right? And then we can look at our key levels. Key levels are down here and here. Okay, so 62.76, 82 is already went above these little swings in here. So we see a V. I put a VWAP on the 15-minute chart as well. Okay, we're back up above it. Okay, so maybe up in here, some of these swings, you know, your volume profiles are going to show that everything's going to taper off in this little area in here. You don't have to have volume profile to understand that. It's going to be easy. You can look right at it. I know there's not going to be a whole lot of volume on these wicks. I know there's going to be volume in here, and there's not going to be a whole lot of volume in here, and there's nothing over here. It gapped, right? So this might be the next area up here at 10, 63.10 or so. Or 9 or something, you know, something like that, right? We got to get back up above or back into the volume in here. It has to accept into it, right? So that's what we're going to look for. Now we're starting to develop. We went over what's moving the markets, tariffs. We went over our key levels, and we understand we can also kind of deduct from some of this in here that, well, we didn't go below some of these swings in here, so maybe we're going to see some more buying come back in, and we're going to retest the high up here, which is the figure at 6,300 or 6,301, and then we'll see if we can get back up above it. These are the scenarios we're coming up with. Now we've gone through step 1, 2, and 3, and we're already missing the opportunity here because I'm jawboning about it. It's just really important to go through this. Now we're going to go through our strategies in scenarios in here. Okay, so we just talked about it. Is bullish, looking for now a bullish setup in here. Okay, and looking for trading up to maybe this 05 liquidity up here. All right, so let's go back to our Trader Map Pro and let's zoom in a little bit. And now we'll start to understand the order flow as well. Okay, well, you can see a move into this high liquidity here at 6,300, and we're above it. All right, now, is the market going to struggle up in here? So maybe we're looking for a pullback. Okay, a pullback into one of these levels in here. Okay, we're going to look at liquidity. We're going to look at the volume dots in here. Okay, look at the volume dots. Now, I'm going to look for a bit of a pullback in here, but I'm tempted to buy that up here. I just don't like buying at the high. All right, so there's our pullback. Okay, let's zoom in here. Let's take a look at it. Okay, let's open up our trading panel. Do I want to go with our? Yeah, we'll start with our demo account in here, but maybe we can jump over to our prop firm account. Okay, now liquidity underneath. Okay, under here, they're bidding up. We're starting to find a few buyers up above it here. Okay, we've got our little pullback here. Okay, now we got to see if the sellers want this liquidity in here, but we see a skew in the auction in the order book. Okay, so I'm looking for buyers to take it and try to test back up into 03, 04, 05. And now we covered now that I didn't go over too much of a setup in here. Okay, this is the one thing that's lacking, right? And again, this is not a trading room. Okay, I'm demoing parts 1, 2, and 3 in here. I didn't go through the setups and the checklist in here, but you can see that this is the fourth thing on the list here, right? Okay, and we're going to try to understand it in here. Okay, so now we see a technical level, at least, you know, this uptrend is being tested. Okay, we're below a swing here. Now, do we find buyers back up above? Yeah. All right, now, can they break maybe some of our structure here? Starting to. Okay, it looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to add into it. Okay, now again, just to demo this and demo this point, it gives us a little bit of flexibility as well. Okay, so now where would I want to just take some profit, a single here, hit a single? Okay, well, I'm going to put a price channel on it here. Again, these are more technical levels, but nothing big here. We're just looking for where the value is, a value area in here. And that's what a trend channel does. That's what a horizontal channel does. That's what your volume profile does as well. Literally, it gives you a value area. Okay, right here. This is considered, here, we'll do a more precise value area down to 93.5. Something like that. Okay, and we'll get rid of this one here. Okay, and this is going to be, well, your point of control is going to be down here, right? This is your developing point of control in here, right? Okay, so this is value in a diagonal though, and we don't have a volume profile for that. So we're just going to have to eyeball it in here. And we're going to look at volume by the buyers versus volume by the sellers on the pullbacks. And this would be our value area to, up at the upper edge of value up in here. Okay, if we can find the buyers. Okay, so we're going to kind of wait, watch, and see. Okay, and we're going to reduce our risk. Okay, I'm going to put my just below the swing here, my stops. Okay, my take profit, well, we'll see. Like maybe I should move it up in maybe this 05 area up here. Okay, just in time, right? So a bit of a stop run that's going to be, but still looking for buyers to try to take this higher. Okay. All right. So now what more can we do in here? Not much. We're in. It's, now we just manage it, and we moved our stops around a bit. And you can take some off at some areas in here and look for the order flow to give you some insight. Okay, so here we go again. Steps 1, impetus, what's moving the market. Step 2 is our higher time frame key levels. We went through that. We went through all of this. And then we looked at scenarios around those key levels as well. And then step 3 is finally our setup. And we don't really have much of a setup in here. It's kind of a pullback and a breakout strategy. Okay, so now we're filled here on our first leg of this position. Okay, and we're going to look for maybe a runner out of it. All right, so now let's go back and oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of a loss of words this morning. We'll reevaluate in here what's going on. All right, so look at the buying up in here, and this high liquidity up here at 05. We're probably going to get a little bit of a pullback right now. Okay, and look at our price channel in here. See how it's starting to wane a little bit? We're going to readjust it. Okay, our value price channel in here. Okay, so we're going to have to readjust it. Okay, this seems to be a little more accurate now. Okay, so in fact, let's just get rid of all of these in here. And I'll just use the new tool in here that we had about a month ago or so, is our channel tool. Okay, and we'll just put this in here, edit it, and we'll bring it up. Oh yeah, we got the extension here. You want to extend it, just edit it, extend to the right, extend to the left. We don't need it to the left. All right. Okay. So look where with the readjusted value price channel here. Well, we got out at the top of the range in here, right in front of high liquidity. Okay. So, there's a process here we're going through. We were looking for this breakout in here. We didn't really have a setup in here. Like, we're just looking for a pullback and continuation, really. We could get into more details in a setup. I mean, like, trend line break in here, and in the continuation. But let's just not go there. Really, what we were looking for in terms of entry was the push higher on this on the candlestick chart in here. Okay, when we entered, it was just kind of around in here, and we're looking for the bump higher because we've traded up to here. We saw trading above it. I'm sorry, did it? I don't know if it even traded up to. Oh yeah, we were looking for the retest back to 01 here. So price was around in here someplace, around 98, 99, something like that. And then now we have a let's revisit our targets. Okay, 10 or 09 is what we're looking for. All right, let's now match that with liquidity. Okay, here's 10 or 09 up here. Okay, well, we have it at 08. Well, I'm going to move it up. Okay, I'll move it to 09. We'll keep it there. All right, now let's move our stop up too, and we're going to put it above the or just below the swing in here. Okay, I'll give it a little bit of breathing room in here. Okay, so it's up at 02 1/4. Okay, because we're look at our price channel here. Our diagonal value, and we're trading into high liquidity. I'm looking for a pullback right now. And we might not get it. We might get a big exponential move, but typically this is what price is doing. So I am anticipating price to test back down to here. Now, if that is the case, how do you want to manage this? Maybe you should just get out altogether, right? Let's hit a double. Okay, so we just hit a double, right? And we hit a single here, and we're going to hold for a runner, but we're at the kind of top of our price channel, and we traded high liquidity, and I'm looking for a pullback, and I'm going to move my stop to where it's going to pull back. Now we don't know, right? It might go exponential, but this was the decision making in here, and there was some reasoning behind it, and if I get a pullback in here, I'll look for another position. Okay, Rob, take care. Let's see. Is this making Stephen making sense to you, or anyone out there? Okay, good. We had the webinar yesterday with Brandon, and okay, excellent. Oh, that's what I like to see. Thank you, Aloise. 100%. Excellent. Again, like look, we don't know, right? And we got a pullback here. It was super shallow so far. It just kind of dribbled off to the side a bit, and there's more buyers now. It actually does look like it wants to go exponential here. Okay, but we got out. Okay, so what? We saw something. We took a chunk out. We managed it, and we also mentioned, I know that I might be giving up points. Okay, but it's worth it with some of that reasoning of like we're looking for a pullback into the channel here, or back into value or edge of value, lower value in here. Yeah, the thing that Brandon is just amazing with is his clarity and simplicity. And you know, I want to really underscore that how important that is, because the guy's killing it. So um, let's review a little bit, and we'll look at some of the things that he had talked about, because this will apply to everybody and anybody. It does not matter. All right, so let's because I just went through something that is pretty simple, but it's kind of complex too, right? Like here's we were kind of uh, now if we look in hindsight, we're kind of kicking ourselves here. Oh, this might go exponential. Look at it now, right? And we instead of getting out down here, which we would have been stopped out here at that point, at this 02.5, right? Would have been stopped out. Well, instead, we took it. We thought, well, this doesn't make any sense. Let's take some profit here, and we'll look for a pullback and look for another opportunity. Hit the double, and then go to bat again. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you watched Brandon's Zero DTE course? Yeah. Let me show that on the Learning Center. So, because we just revamped the Learning Center, it looks awesome. They did a great job. Oops, I don't want to go to YouTube. I want to go to bookmap.com. Here's the deal. If you guys want to claim your deal, just click on this button. But if you want to go to the Learning Center, go to Education here. Okay. You'll see we have a new slider up here to advertise some of the courses and other things, and inform you about new events and whatnot. And then we've got the Getting Started courses here with Bookmap. If you're new or if you want to revisit the features, etc. We've got the order flow courses on our market mechanics courses here, the supply and demand course here, and then this one by Brandon, the Zero DTE options. And we have an older strategy and setups course in here as well. Anyway, it is yeah, check out the course here. Just click on it. You'll see 7 videos in here Brandon goes through. Now, let's go kind of review some of the things Brandon was talking about, because I really like the clarity and the simplicity. It's fantastic. So let's take a look here. Look at our candlestick chart in here. All right, so he's looking at specific areas in here. In fact, he has kind of his own process for marking up things in the candlestick chart. He's looking for a zone in here, like kind of based off of his candles, and I kind of forget how he did it. Like it's the green candle and the wicks in the body. So this does kind of fit what he's looking for, a dip into that zone in here. Okay. So he would be looking for it around in here someplace, and then getting long, taking, well, his take profit was higher liquidity, or maybe some of these other zones on the other sides as well. Yeah, maybe the swing high up in here, okay, like we were kind of looking at as well. Right. So in this area in here, let's go back and revisit. Okay, hold on a minute. There we go. Okay. So let's take a look. Okay, well, here's our overnight. And let's mark it up here. All right, so we're going to put in our rectangle here. Okay, so now this is what we have. We have the cash open to the upside, the move back down, and here we have a setup. Okay, so now we have our higher time frame level that we just covered, and we drew up our zone in here, and then we have this sell-off into that zone. We also have high liquidity on the bid, getting filled on the way down. Okay, pretty strong move to the downside. With look at the volume in here. Now look at the volume on the upside here and in here. Okay, what's this setup look like to you guys? Okay, this is the setup that we've been covering about the trendline break and accumulation. And accumulation it should be accumulation, structure break, accumulation. Okay, passive accumulation. That's here on the bid. In a zone, that's important, that we just covered. And then we see the aggressive accumulation in here after the break of the structure. Here it is. Okay, these are really, really powerful setups. Okay? And it's still going, right? So we kind of missed the, I'm jawboning again, we kind of missed the opportunity in here for another potential setup in here. Anyway. Let's see. So anyway, these are the zones and areas, and he's keeping it really simple, right? So after, and what he's looking for, and let's just add some candles to Bookmap in here. Okay, I'm going to use this feature in Bookmap for the candlesticks that this is showing 1 minute. Well, actually, let's go to 5 minutes. Okay, show 5 minutes, but I'm going to enable this one here to aggregate and align based on the body width. So we actually we won't kind of know what the candle is, but we zoom in here. Actually, we'll have to aggregate. We'll have to go down to a smaller time frame. Let's try that again. This is a really cool feature. I've never seen anyone else do this. This is a 1 minute. Okay. Now, when we zoom in though, this will turn into like a 5, 10, 15 minute. You can see here it's 5 minutes now, I believe. Maybe 10 minutes. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, so it'll aggregate as they kind of compress together. All right, so here, here's your candlestick pattern right in here, and it fits beautifully with the candlesticks in the order flow and the setup that we outlined here. This setup here, for those of you who want to know from the Learning Center, it's from that supply and demand course here, and it is the trendline break and accumulation video here. Okay, 2.5 minutes long.
Breaking trend lines.
And we go through it here. The passive accumulation, okay, then the break of the structure here. We have a key level. This is 2100 or 21,000 in the NASDAQ, and actually we have a nice little stop run and through that area here, and then the buying starts to come in and break that structure, the buyer accumulation. Okay, so Brandon's basically kind of looking at a similar thing. Okay, and then he's looking for those buyers to take it back up above, and he gets in, puts his stop below the swing, he's off to the races. Okay, really simple, really straightforward. Okay, so from candlesticks here, from a zone in here, to Bookmap in here. Okay, and it's high liquidity. Okay, that's the number one thing he's looking for, is that high liquidity, and he's looking for it to transact. All right, so let's see what else we can get and gather from that webinar. Okay, so we're up. We haven't traded up into our 9 level or 10 level yet. We're getting closer though. All right, and we're starting to see some wicks here. All right, so let's zoom in. Okay, now one of the things that worked so well for Brandon is, first off, is higher time frame levels. Now he goes through that whole process. He started with like the daily, or maybe even the weekly, the daily. You know, he goes down the 4 hour, the hour. He's really looking at what are high time frame important levels. He didn't really cover that too much, but it is vitally important. It's got to be an important level, right? And then you want to look at high liquidity at that important level. That's it. Then the entry is pretty mechanical. And then the stop is below the swing. You're in, off to the races. Okay. Now we're gonna try maybe because we don't have time to wait around in this webinar if we want to demo it in the live market. Okay, well, we can use the same process on lower time frames, and he also covered a little bit about that in his continuation moves and patterns. But we're going to kind of go through the same idea here using the same process, but we're going to look at lower time frames in here. Okay, so this here would be kind of a key level, right? Right in here. Okay, now is there liquidity at that level? No, I don't see it. Okay, so I would want to see it down here at 01. Okay, if he's going to be a buyer. And I just don't see it here. Now it may work, it may go up again, but I'd be looking for this high liquidity down at 01 here for this to work better. Yeah, Brandon spoke on discipline. Well, discipline and patience. Patience is he's really good at. He's really good at two things, and these are just hallmarks, I think, of really good traders. Is number one, extremely patient, looking and very picky, looking for something that really fits your setup. Okay? Otherwise, you just don't trade it. You don't take the bait. Okay. And then secondly, he's super aggressive when that moment presents. Okay, so like here right now, okay, we're below our swing here. We just traded in some liquidity in here. Okay, now some of that was pulled, right? So we didn't really see that big transaction of buyers here. They're actually down a little bit lower here at 98. Okay, but let's just for fun's sake, we'll take a look here, right? We'll kind of wrap a zone around this in here. Okay, so he's looking for a green candle now, and now we're looking at 1 minute, and I hope we're not bastardizing his this setup, but it's just pretty simple stuff though. Okay, so here's our liquidity level, and it's not very good. It's not a very good liquidity level. And what about this one down here? Yeah, it doesn't really structurally. There is some things structurally here as well at that level, but not really what he's looking at. Okay, all right, now here we go. Right. Okay, so those buyers starting to come in. Okay. Okay, there's that small green candle. Now let's see if we can get back up above it here on some buying. And I'm gonna just get up. I'm already filled. Okay, so I wanted to get actually a tick higher here and then get filled. Right, and then again, but this would be on a more micro time frame, and I think I'm willing to go back up to the top of the level here, and so it's more of a scalp using this principle, and back up to here, or it might come back up into these higher levels here. Okay, stop below the swing. Again, guys, this is just maybe boy, I probably shouldn't do this. It's maybe not a good example, and it's lower time frame, and secondly, this high liquidity in here didn't really trade. But just how powerful this is. I mean, you can see that the market's thinking about it here, and we might get the move now. Just keeping things simple, right? Using order flow at key levels, and then we'll take some out, and then that's it. Look for your next setup. Okay, we came one tick away. It's only like a point and a half or so, but you guys get the idea. Let's see if it can still play out here. Okay, again, it's the high liquidity in here is it's not a great example. This is a much better example down here, but we don't really have that swing. We're looking at more like a swing like this and having high liquidity at it, right? And that price rocketed out of that area in here as well. That being important. Like down here would be more of your key level, right? That this previous key level provided another key level down here. Can you see that? So it would be something like this now. So maybe he'd be watching this 6280 down here, around that area in here. Okay, we're going to get stopped out on this. All right. Okay, well, we knew it wasn't the greatest example, but it almost worked out for us. It came a tick away, just demoing the process, right, in the live market. Okay, a lot of caveats on that, of course, but we knew that before we even got in. Okay, the whole point or why I'm going over it is the simplicity behind it. We don't have to be too complex. See if there's a lot of questions over here in YouTube. Okay, good morning everybody. Yeah, Tom, exactly. The tariffs are just an opportunity for big money to drop the market and better buying position. Well, for us as well, we're not excluded from that either. There's an interesting thing on that, Tom, is we saw it in these markets, and it was actually a volume profile trader, Charles from Pirate Traders, was talking about this, and looking at he's looking at his market and volume profile, and we saw this like several months ago before like some of the tariff stuff, is markets were going higher, but then they would kind of test the highs and there just wouldn't be any buying interest. So people are buying, but they're only buying at a better price down low. That's it. And then it just fails at the top. You're not finding follow through on the buyers. And this is a good concept to cover, because maybe we're seeing some of it right now on a lower time frame. We're looking for that follow through. Okay, people are buying, but they're buying down here, right? Let's go and revisit it. Let's take the candles off for just a minute. Okay, see where they're buying? It's clear. Look at the dots. Look at the size. Okay, look at up here. Look at the dots and look at the size, and look at the color. Okay, so Yeah, it's a buying opportunity, but down here. Right now, we don't know if maybe that changes after trading into more buyers on the bid here at the figure or just below the figure here at 98. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm following you guys over here. My screen is a bit off. Right. Let me try that again. That's not it. Okay, let me try this one more time. Sorry about this. Okay. Okay, hold on a minute here, guys. Almost there. Okay. All right. How's that? Is that? No, that's still not better. Okay, hold on a minute here. I know what it is. Okay, is that better? That should do the trick. Okay, so give it a minute here. Yeah, no, okay. I think we're there now. Okay, okay, good. All right, sorry about that. All right. Yeah, thanks for that, Digital Capital. I don't know. Ashes to ashes. I mean, it's kind of speculation. Yeah, and you're mentioning that you suspect, that it's a good opportunity to sell high liquidity. I think it's more about like maybe it's a good time to sell at all-time highs with this trade tariffs stuff headlining again. Okay, but the funny thing is we can go back and look at it here, and it's like, yeah, but people are buying it back again at some of these lows in here. So, you ever heard we've all heard buying the dips, right? Well, that's what's happening. We're not really buying the highs, we're buying the dips. Or people are buying the dips, buying the dips. Uh, and um, and we see price kind of fade when it gets to those highs again. Okay. All right. So interesting. This guy pulled his liquidity in here at this 98 level. All right. So now sellers, they've got to come back down to 91 and a quarter now. Okay. And now maybe we find some buyers down there. Okay, let's take a look at it here. Okay, and then that gets down to point of control or near it. Okay, our zone is still down here. Nothing's changed there, of course. So let's look for maybe a sell opportunity here, and yeah, don't like it right now because we do see on this time frame a little zoomed in. There is some liquidity at some of these levels in here. So let's see if we get a bounce. All right, let's put our price channel back on. Let's go through that. This diagonal value area in here. It's not bad. All right. Let's look at a low volume pullback. Okay, so low buy volume. Okay, there's some. And look for maybe a low volume node in here. That would be about here, 98.5 or so. Okay, well, look at that's a pretty nice volume spike there, though. Did we go low enough to find some buyers below the figure here at 6,300? You know, this is where we're kind of hemming and hawing, and Stephen, this is where like uh, you know, again, I'm addressing it to you, but like this is where you can get in trouble. It's like, well, you know, 6,300, and you know, we're looking at this volume spike. Buyers seem to be coming in. Maybe this is like an area in here with there was high liquidity. It was pulled. You know, this is where you don't engage. Now we don't know. Like this might be the beautiful low pullback that you know we're all looking for. But based off of this in here, it's just not as high probability. We have a lot of kind of unclear elements in the setup. Okay, so sit on the fence, wait. You know, I go back and try to use a couple of analogies to help clarify a bit. And one is the hunter. You know, out in you know, if you're a deer hunter, you're sitting up in a tree and you're just waiting and hanging out, and then wait till that deer comes in. And then when you see that deer, are you going to shoot immediately? No, of course not. You're going to wait till it comes even closer. Okay, and it comes right by you. And then, you know, that's when you're going to take your shot. Okay, so trading wise, you're waiting for your shot down here. Okay, then you have your criteria for your shot. You just jump in, and we never know. Just you have to assess the risk at that time, or manage the risk, I should say. Okay. I just offended vegans and vegetarians. Okay, well, it would be yeah. You're not you don't hunt for broccoli that way. Uh, yeah, I don't know if I can make that analogy for a vegan or vegetarian. But yeah, you're sitting, you're waiting, you're watching. But when that opportunity presents, you have to act fast. Right? And how let me throw this out there. What's the best way to be able to act fast? You know, how can you act really fast to something? Anyone on that? Okay. It's by using replay mode. It's through repetition. Okay, that you're prepared for it. You know what to do. That moment presents, and you've prepared for it. Okay, and you just react. Okay, you know you've heard of like these you know, of kind of knowing that you don't know to knowing that you maybe know a little bit, and getting to the point where you know that you know you don't even have to know. It's like you can just react because you know what it looks like, and just execute very, very quickly. That's when you become an expert. And that's why I keep on hounding to use this replay mode, so that you can speed it up. Yeah, the unconscious competence. That's right. There's a whole kind of lineage, or 3 or 4 points behind it, right? So anyway, the point, the main point is to be able to react and have a process in place so that you can react. Okay, unconscious competence and the different kind of phrasing of it, doesn't, it's not in my interest. I just want to be able to react. Okay, I'm prepared. I've gone through the process many times. I know what it looks like. Okay, so again, keep it really simple here. Let's look at some candlesticks in the range in here, because this is a potential range bound setup in here. Range bound. Okay, our channel's being broken, but I'm starting to see some sellers come in, so maybe we get a retest back down here. Right, so just trying to keep it simple here, looking at here, let's go to a 5-minute at this point. Maybe we'll go to like a 3-minute. How about that? All right, it's a little bit better. Okay, this is the range up in here. We've tested that range, and we're starting to see some. We see a green candle kind of end at the top of the range in here, but a small one. Okay, and then we see a wick here. We see a red candle. All right, so now, did we trade into high liquidity at this level? Okay, there's just a little bit in here. Okay, let's filter the heat map in here, and we'll check it out a little bit further. Okay, so I'm just going to make it very stark in here, and this will help us identify the liquidity level in here. Okay, well, the liquidity is more up here, 0.5. There's some here at 0.4. And did it transact into here? Not really. Not much transacted here at this 0.3. Okay, so we have some liquidity at this level. It's not so great, and it didn't even transact. Okay, this is very wishy-washy. It's not quality. Well, let's see, Shark. A book flip. Boy, the terminology is getting kind of confusing here. It shouldn't. I have always understood a book flip as exactly what the CME also calls it, as it's actually an illegal or disruptive practice and prohibited practice. Is if there's high liquidity at a level like up here, let's suppose, and the market starts going toward it, and then the last minute or second they pull that liquidity, there's maybe a stop run or maybe a lot of buying that goes through that level, but they never got filled, and they immediately throw it on the bid. So they flip from offer to bid, and then price is more likely to accept up in that area. And that is what I understand as a book flip, and that's what the CME defines it as well, as a book flip. Okay, I think others are talking about it in terms of the liquidity in the book flipping, and that means like, well, we might have to look at a stock for this. That there was high liquidity on the offer on the way up as it trades into these areas in here, and it's very dark underneath on the bid. But then we get up to a certain level, and that high liquidity transacts up into here, and then there's no liquidity. It gets dark up here on the offer, and this starts to show lots of liquidity on the bid, and that would be a flip. This is what Thor was describing as a liquidity flip or book flip. Yeah, I mean, look, we can look right at the CME rule 575, and we can even bring it up in here in the PDF, and they will describe it. Yeah, here it is here. I'll even put the link into the chat for you. You can even do a search in here for it, right? Control F, flip, and they call it flipping of the book. Here, flipping. Are flipping orders prohibitive? It's right here. Okay, it has two characteristics. First, aggressive orders, and then secondly, before entry of the order, the participants cancels the orders on the opposite side of the market, and then at the same price usually flips to the other side. Anyway, you can read through it here, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of a book flip. All right, so I want to be very clear on our terminology. It is also here on the bookmap.com website. If you go to, well, education here, and then you go to under knowledge, our glossary here, and then you can just go find it in here as well. We'll say book flipping or flip of the order book or something here. Flipping right here. Okay, and then it's right in here. All right, and that's how I understand it. Okay. All right, so we're bouncing around at this 6,300 level, and we just traded into some liquidity here, just below the swing created here. But let's see if we can get, maybe we can take a quick scalp here, just down to this level and this liquidity here. So we're looking for a low volume pullback here, and that might be it. And we just jump in here. And now we're looking for a follow through to the downside into the swing down here, right here and here. And there's liquidity there, and we're front running it by a tick. Okay, so let's see if we can get it. I'm keeping my stop up here, but I will likely just get out if it comes up to just up to this 99.5 or so. I don't know. Sorry guys, trying to be a little bit of a stickler on some of the terminology, just because like it really matters, and it trickles down. Right, so you know, the ICT, for example, the guy really, in my opinion, is misleading, and that misleading terminology gets people very confused. And we try very hard here at Bookmap to be very precise with that, so then that everyone's on the same page. All right, I'm going to move my stop now down to just above break even. It's not so much break even that I'm worried about here. I'm just, this should work now. If it doesn't, then, we're going to come back up to the top of this little range in here. And then, we'll look for another opportunity. Okay, so that's my thinking on my stop management here. Like, I want it to work right now. I don't want to see it come back and retest. I want it to hit this liquidity down here. Okay, and we'll likely get, because of that aggressive stop, yeah, now we're stopped out. Okay, so a 1 tick loss on that, right? But that was my, that was the way I wanted to manage this. Oh yeah, you're right. Digital capital, another strong. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. No, I did mention it about the interest rate cuts, as Powell is being targeted now by Bessent, the Treasury Secretary. First it was by Trump. Now it's spreading. Also, we've had other Fed members come out saying like, yeah, we should have an interest rate cut. So what, that's gonna affect the markets as well. I totally agree with you on that. Yep, good stuff. Bambi says you don't like the analogy on the deer. Okay, yeah, we'll have to come up with one for vegans and vegetarians. I don't know. That's why you asked, Shark. Thank you. Okay, but you agree with the strict terminology. Absolutely. And not being liberal with that and throwing it around. Totally. Great to hear. Thanks, Shark. Wow, I never heard that, Alois. ICT stands for I cannot trade. Yikes. Yeah. Look, I was taught by some traders that use that terminology and only that terminology. So I was, it was kind of whipped into me. And then I liked it because it's like, if I'm talking about this and then it's very clear. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, it was a book flip, or oh yeah, it was stop run, or whatever it is. It was a low volume node. All right, let's see if we can get that flush through now, down into this liquidity. After the market tried to trade up here and it failed, and now we're seeing the sellers here. Actually, I'm just going to jump into this. I just want to demo this in here because like this happens so frequently, okay, that it auctioned up here, it found some buyers. Now we're going to get a stop run into liquidity down here. Okay, we should. Okay, because it tried up here, and now watch the stops being triggered as we flush through the area in here. Okay, it may come back up and capture these sellers here and then stop them out up here and see big buying up here. That happens too. It builds. But we're gonna trade it on, or we're looking on the sell side here first. In fact, I'm just gonna put my stop right here. It'll be a 2 tick loss. Okay, because I'm looking for traders to push the outside edge here of this little zone and trade into this high liquidity and transact with it. Okay, this is kind of a, boy, we never really have covered it as a setup, but it is maybe I should. It is like a setup, and it is only a scalp. You know, because we're looking for that flush through. Now we're getting our flush through, right? There it is. That's what we're looking for. That's going to be the stop run we're looking for. And now we want to look for our higher time frame, or you know, in this webinar, at least medium time frame areas in here below these swings in here. But is there liquidity? And there's not, right? So I want to see this liquidity down here at 91.25 transact. Okay, but this is going to be a nice little stop run through that area, and we can look maybe later. I don't know if we're going to have it during this webinar, but we can look for a move back up above 95.5 and then our buy volume. All right, so there we go. All right, there's a move into that high liquidity. Okay, now let's wait and watch in here. Okay, high volume node here. Okay, here come the buyers. I think we're going to have to go back down into lower time frame candles here to replicate some of these concepts. Shoot, did I get it? Did I get it? Okay, that's 1 minute, yeah. Okay, well, yeah, we didn't really have anything to wrap around it here to look at Brandon's strategy, but you can see, you know, the move into that high liquidity and our level here. Okay, again, it's not, this is not really good quality level here at this 93.5. Liquidity is not bad down here at 91.25, and there's the flush through. Okay, let's see if now we're getting a reaction by some buyers. All right, let's just jump in here. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, again, guys, this is not a trading room nor a trade recommendation. The swing, we'll put it just below that liquidity there. And we've got our flush through. We have our green candle, and then we're starting to see some buying back up above at the top of the green candle. Okay, and is this low enough now to find these buyers after trading into all that high liquidity? Okay, we're going to get an answer here. And we can maybe take some profit up here with some of this liquidity at the figure and then move back to the swing here as well. Okay, trading into 92, some liquidity there at 92. Let's see if we get some buyers here and take it back up. Okay, so that 92 traded. Okay, so we do have some liquidity, you know, some passive accumulation here on the bid, and we had our flush through and our stop run here. Okay, and then and we just traded into some of this liquidity here at 92. So now we're going to find. Are we going to find? We haven't seen them yet. I thought we may have had them here. We didn't, or at least not enough aggressive buying. Okay, but we might find enough now. Okay, we came down here, traded into a little bit more liquidity, and now this is maybe where we'll find some buyers lift it up into areas of high liquidity on the offer. Okay, we got a chain of events. We do have a, it's a setup. However, the levels aren't so great. as we talked about earlier. Okay, that's why we're demoing it in demo paper trading mode in here. And traders like Brandon are doing nothing right now. Okay, so they're waiting for this level down here, and they're just doing they're waiting and not getting all mixed up and involved. They know it's extremely simple. It is extremely clear to them what they're looking for, and they're just not willing to put risk on when they don't think they have an edge. Okay, we're starting to find some of those aggressive buyers and aggressive accumulation. Now we've got, we've got something here. That's why we've got a little bit of a setup in here. We do have some of that liquidity, right? We do have somewhat of a level, and we're not looking for much. We're just looking for back up to the liquidity, or the liquidity and the figure up here at 6,300. Okay, we're coming up on the European close as well. Yeah, fib levels. Brandon looks at some fib levels, and pullback zones and etc. Okay, so we're filled on that, and it traded into that high liquidity right here as well. So the transaction did take place. Okay. All right, so now it's on to the next one, the next setup. Okay. Again, now this, like we mentioned, usually usually we don't have much of a setup. Actually, this time we did have a setup in here. We didn't have very good levels in here, but it worked out. Okay. We're not looking for taking a whole lot. In fact, we can probably look at this as a measured move as well. Something like this. And let's move that back up. Beautiful. Right into it. Right. And right up to the swing and right up to the figure as well. I am out. I don't care if there's buying above it right now or not. That's where I would want to take some off or hit a single and then look for a next trade. All right, guys. Well, let's see here. Let's just review a little bit and how we started off this webinar with the process and the goals in here. The goal in the end of the process is to have a playbook of trades that define an edge. And the process we're going through is, number one, what is moving the market? What is the impetus behind it? And we talked about that. Let's see, it was digital capital. I think you came up with some nice additions in there to it, just keeping it simple. What's the market reacting to? And it's highly sensitive to tariffs. Interest rates, almost always it's highly sensitive to as well. And now nothing's changed there except that there's a lot of cage rattling. Or saber rattling, I guess. The key levels, okay, we covered that as well when we started off the webinar, and we talked about the key level down here, and we talked about the key level up here at this 09 or 10 level. We didn't get to it, and then due to that, we didn't have much of a setup. We jumped into the trade or the trend, and then looking to reduce some risk along the way, and we were in a value channel due to this setup. Okay, that we weren't here for the setup, but we covered it, and then it was such a nice move that we got in and rode it up a little bit, took some off, and then had a runner, but ended up thinking, well, this doesn't make too much sense. We're trading into high liquidity. I am looking for a pullback. Therefore, I might as well just take my profit, okay, and look for the next setup, and maybe I can get something on the pullback here. We didn't grab that. I ended up failing up here at 07, and then price came back down, and we showed a couple different examples in here. Brandon's example, this one didn't work. Again, these are, I shouldn't say Brandon examples, but something similar to it. And then we looked at the pushing the bottom edge in here, I think a couple times. One stopped out of break even. Another one, we got really nice flush through into the key level. And then, yeah, the first one didn't work. And then the second one worked beautifully. And then went a lot further than I thought it would go. And then that kind of set us up for buying again. And we did have a setup here. We did have a key level, or key level, it wasn't so strong. This level here and the liquidity here wasn't bad, but we had something. And then we're looking for the aggressive. We saw the passive accumulation, trend line break or structure break, and then those aggressive buyers come in. We jumped in and we rode it up to high liquidity up here at the figure and got out. All right, so we followed the process here, and had some winners, had a couple losers as well, but overall, due to the risk management, we had winners. Order flow. Okay, what did I do here? All right. All right, guys. So let's see. Tom B is up next. There's a couple more things to go through here. We have our Pro Trader webinar continues later today. We have Austin Silver at 2:30 East Coast time. That'll round out the week, and we're rounding out our sale here. So if you like what you see, you want to try Bookmap, it's a great time to try it. Just give it a shot. I mean, it's 50% off, so you might as well. Why wouldn't you? If you find value in here and you haven't given it a shot, this is your best bet. Okay, it also includes data, so go to bookmap.com, check it out. It'll be valid till the end of the day, and then that'll be that. All right. If you want to go back and revisit some of these setups that we're talking about, you can go to bookmap.com and click on Education and come into the new Learning Center we have here, and then the Supply and Demands course here. Okay. All right, guys. Let's see. Easy E. Any tips for multi-day peaks? Those on Bitcoin? Not really. No tips. We don't really give tips. And let's see. We look for very specific setups that we have back tested. Okay? That's what gives us the edge. That's what you mean. Okay. I didn't take a look at Bitcoin, and I'm sorry, we're kind of out of time right now. But you can apply the same processes in here we're going through on the S&P E-mini to Bitcoin. No problem. I mean, this is pretty universal stuff. So I hope that helps. Yep, trading is life. Thank you. I appreciate you very much. You've been great in the community, great content. Yeah, and we have had a great Pro Trader webinar series. Okay, going over the heat map. And let's see, anything else in here? Let me go take a quick look at over in YouTube. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Better yet, just come over to our Discord channel and participate in the community over there. It's free. There's no cost to it. You will need to have bookmap.com credentials. That's it. You don't have to subscribe to anything, but you do need to sign up there to get access. And that's a very small ask, in my opinion. If you want to come over and check out our community and kind of pick the minds of some of our traders over here. We've got a really nice community, so thank you, everybody. Yeah. All right. Have a good weekend, and we'll catch up with you on. Actually, I'm away next week, so I will not be there Monday or Tuesday. It may be Friday, but anyway, great trading, Shark, in the Academy meeting yesterday. Also, Steven, great stuff. Trading is life. Sorry I didn't get to you, but anyway, we will continue, and we'll get to you another time. Thanks, everyone, and we'll catch up with you next time.